Hey guys, good morning. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Guys, today I'll be showing you how to install R language and R Studio for your data analysis and data science work. Now, this is a guide for beginners. So if you're an intermediate R user or you're advanced R user, this will be a very basic R language setup and install. So again, this only applies to people who are new to R or who want to migrate their work from Excel over to R. So this tutorial is aimed at beginners, and I will show you steps on the Windows machine, and the steps will be pretty basic. Just downloading R language, downloading R Studio, getting them installed, and then running R Studio for the first time. So let's get started. The first thing you want to do is, if you have access to the web, open up your Chrome browser or any browser that you use. And what you want to search for is download R language. They have a site as well. It's r-project.org. But again, if you can't remember it, just hop onto Google, do a quick search, and it's the first link that we're going to use here. Once you come to the home page, you want to go ahead and click on the top here, CRAN Miner. And here I'm downloading from United States. So I'm going to scroll all the way down to USA and select a download location. Depending on the region you're in, you can select a different country, which might give you a faster download. So we'll click the link here. And since this tutorial covers only Windows for now, we'll go ahead and download R for Windows. And what you want to select here is the base R. And what you're going to do is select this link here, since you're installing R for the first time. You want to go ahead and download this for Windows. And while our language is getting downloaded in the background, we're going to go ahead and download R Studio. Now, the difference between R language and R Studio is R is the base language that we use for the analyses, and then R Studio is a fancy layout, graphical layout on top of R that makes working with the R language easier, and it has some other additional things built into it as well that help us with dealing with the language R. For example, looking at tables, and I will cover this more in later lectures, but just keep this in mind. The order of operation is you download R language first, you install R language first, then you download R Studio, and then you install R Studio. Sorry about that. So we'll go ahead and search for R Studio download. We will click the first link. Here we are going to look for the free version because we are going to use this locally on our desktop. So we're going to get the free version. Again, download the executable for Windows 10 here. Okay. Now let's install R for the first time. And during the install process, we're not going to change anything because this is a very basic setup for the R language. We're not going to change anything right now. For example, the install folder, install location, all of that will be default. One thing that I'm going to show you here is, since we are using a 64-bit machine, and most machines and operating system these days are 64-bit, so we don't need to get the 32-bit files, we just need the 64-bit files. This does help with memory management down the road. So let's just ignore 32-bit files and let's use 64-bit files. Yep, everything default here. We're going to add a shortcut and a quick launch shortcut. And it should take a minute for R to install. Now, as you can see, our RStudio download is also completed. But before I run this, I want to make sure that our language install is fully completed. Okay, there we go. So now R is installed. I'm running the RStudio setup now. And again, we're going to keep all defaults here. We're not going to change anything. Again, it should take a minute. And once our RStudio is installed, we'll go ahead and launch it for the first time. And what we're checking for is when we launch RStudio, right, which is the fancy GUI for R, which is the fancy interface for R, we want to make sure that in the backend, it is looking at the R language that we installed earlier. So let's finish this process. And as you can see down here, I have RStudio icon pinned. After the install, you can either search for it, and then if you right click, you can just pin it like I have done here. And let's launch RStudio for the first time. Now, when RStudio launches, right, there are a couple of things we just want to look for. Right now, in this video, I'm not going to perform any analysis. This video is just for a really basic RStudio install on Windows 10. So as you can see, my RStudio launched without any issues. And what we want to check for is in the console here, right? You see your R version listed. This is the version that we installed from their site earlier on. And as you can see, this is a 64-bit version. And that's all we're looking for. Guys, I will be doing some more R tutorials in the future. So if this video was helpful, give it a like and subscribe to my channel. My effort is to release 1 or 2 videos every week. So people who are interested in data analytics and data science, they're able to jump to those roles regardless of what they're doing. I've been in the data science field for almost 5 years. I use R and Python regularly, daily in my work. And I've been using those 2 languages for about 8 years now. And the goal is to help people become more familiar with R and Python. I'm starting with R because I think it's a good place to start with, but we can also start with Python. I will also take requests. If you want me to do any requests on certain R topics or Python topics, let me know. I'd be happy to help out with them. But again, if you like this video, subscribe to my channel and leave a thumbs up, and I will see you guys again. Thank you. Bye-bye.